Hello and welcome back to another episode of the White Sox March to October. And after such a long episode last time out, we're getting started right in on the action today, facing off against the Blue Jays, who we're currently tied with for the #1 record in the AL. We got to make a come from behind victory today, already in the 8th inning. But if we do, we take control, at least for now, of the #1 seed in the AL. And Vlad's not going to get it started against his former team, which honestly, with everything I just said, makes the Vlad trade that we had last year and the reason he's on our team right now make even less sense. Like, the Jays still clearly are in a spot to compete with where their record is. So I still don't understand why they traded Vlad to me, but I'm not complaining. He was a big piece of our championship team. He's a big piece of our team this year. And Garrett Hampson's also a big piece. Did that not... What? At first I thought that was getting down, then I thought he made a play on it. I didn't see the ball pop out of his glove. That's what must have happened though, right? Is it going to show me? Oh yeah, it hit off his glove and bounced straight back. I mean, that's a big play to keep him to a single though, and I guess that's going to be it for the starter. Man, dude, once again though, Garrett Hampson, he just always makes such solid contact for me. I kind of want to take off with him. Just gauging it there on the first pitch. We're not going to run first pitch, and he did slide step. Actually, I should look. What's the catcher? Not the greatest arm on Kirk, so we might be able to take off if I pick the right pitch to run on. Okay, we don't need to. Never mind. He's just going to leave a fastball right down the pipe for Eloy to hit over the seats. That did go over the seats, right? 452 down the line. That's insane. Again, I mean, I know it's not over yet, but we load in, losing the game, and we're already winning. Like I said this last episode, it almost feels easy at this point with this team that we have. The offense is just so good. I mean, the more insurance we can get though, the better. It's still just a 1-run lead right now to try and close it out in the top of the 9th. Oh, that was a... I guess I was off of that. I had the right idea though. And actually, I might have gotten enough of that. Did I? I did. Garver the other way, late on the fastball, and it still works. Garver's turning his season around. He spent a lot of, pretty much all the first half of the season without doing nearly as good as I'd want him to. That's his 20th homer. I saw his average was up over 330, or 230. 330 would be quite the improvement. I can't believe that left, though. I felt like I was under that. I was definitely behind it. And yeah, I mean, I was right on in that assessment. I guess Garver's just too strong. Wow. All right. That's a rough pitch to miss, but Tim Mays, he's tough lefty. That's fine. We got our lead. We got our insurance. Now we just got to close it out. And Garrett Crochet coming on again. I feel like we've seen him a lot recently. We've had a lot of save situations. And there we go. Fastball at the top of the zone. Easy first strikeout. First out. Ooh, that's not good. That's where the insurance comes in. I don't think anybody's going to get there in time to even make an attempt. Yeah, that's not where you want to miss against Randall Grichuk. I bet he still has a lot of power against lefties. Dude, I don't know what it is, but I'm having all kinds of trouble not getting yellows. And Cespedes, make a play on that. You're there. Oh, man. I really thought we had that. I thought that wasn't an issue. And then I finally do hit my spot, and I miss my spot. Okay, no, that's right to Montgomery. That's perfect. We keep him at second. 1 out to go. There we go. All right, never a question, never in doubt. It sucks that I had to give up the run with Crochet. He's done such a good job getting that ERA down a long ways, and now we just kind of messed that up for him. But look at that, 5 more fireballs of momentum. And like I said, that win means that we take the top spot in the AL from the Jays right now. We've been, I feel like, all season trying to chase something down, and now we're the ones on top. We just got to maintain that. Nothing left to chase. Man, look at all the home runs. I forgot to look at the box score, but Hampson and Benintendi both had hit one before we came into the game, and we already had a pretty decent fireball, so that's about as big as we need for a set of simmed games, I'd say. And a series against San Francisco, are we just gonna sweep them? Yeah, why not? Why not sweep the Giants? Now the Royals? Oh my God, are you kidding me? There is no way. I mean, the fact that we're getting this, I didn't think this would happen, but I guess this makes the fact that Schuster got sent down after the Savali trade instead of Davy Garcia, I guess that makes it okay. But what I'm gathering from this is another chance to call up Jared Schuster. So another player lock with him on the mound, and another chance where if we succeed, we can get him another attribute boost. So that would make this the 4th player lock involving an attribute boost with Jared Schuster. We had his fast track and initial call up back in year 1. Then he started year 2 in the minors, and we called him up once already this season, got him another boost. Then, like I said, after the Savali trade, he got sent down, and now we get a chance to call him up again. If I remember right though, after the last one, I think it was only like a 3 or 4 overall boost instead of the usual 6. But still, if we turn Schuster immediately into an 84, 85 overall, like, are you kidding me? Well, obviously we're gonna accept this. It's just, again, a matter of who's gonna be the one that gets sent down to make space for him. Because again, still the same situation with Davy Garcia. You know, I don't need to explain it. I've gone over it so many times, but his minor league options are used up. So if we did send him down, he'd have to pass through waivers. So March to October's solution to that is just to not let you be able to send him down at all. So he's been stuck on our team all year, even though I don't care. I don't care if we put him on waivers and another team takes him. We don't need him, because now, even with the chance to call back up Jared Schuster, even with how good that is, it's still not as good as it could be, because instead of calling up an 81 for a 62, we can only call up an 81 for, at minimum, a 76 here, if Johnny Lasagna is even who I pick. Which I hate that it might be, but it might actually have to be Johnny Lasagna that I send down. I mean, he's only pitched in 12 innings so far this season, so it's not like he gets involved in a lot of games. So yeah, actually, after looking through everything, this is who I'm gonna have to send down, is Johnny Lasagna. He's got to be the least valuable pitcher right now that we can actually get rid of. But again, this just, I said I didn't want to complain about it anymore, but this just brings back up all the frustrations I've been having this year on this mode. But we got to look at the positives. We can only control what we can control, and we can't control the whole Davy Garcia situation, but what we can control is calling back up Jared Schuster and giving him a shot at becoming even better. So his player lock is going to take place against the Royals. He's already got a 2+ performance boost held over from his last call-up player lock, so maybe we can also bump that up to a 3 and that would help him out. But before we get into that, there was one thing that I originally wanted to include in the last episode, but I actually kind of just forgot about it. Worked out for the best because the episode was already over a half an hour anyway, and it would have just made it even longer than it needed to be. But you guys said you liked it when I went through our rosters and checked up on all of our prospects and our last year draft picks to see how they're doing, see how they're progressing. Now, the one thing that sucks about forgetting to do it last episode is now that the trade deadline's passed, we don't have access anymore to the trade management screen, which within March to October, that screen is the only way to see the entirety of your roster. Like, there's no manage roster page in March to October. So the only way I'm going to be able to do this is by going into the depth chart screen and like going into the future and just hoping that everyone I'd want to talk about shows up on the depth chart at some point within these 5 years. And if they don't, we just don't get to show them, we don't get to talk about them, we don't get to see what they're doing. But most of the guys that we're concerned with, when I checked on at least, they do pop up here. So starting with some pitching, Jeremy Bench was a draft pick from last season. I already forget when we took him. I can't remember if he was our 2nd pick or further down, but he was somebody who had a high starting overall. He's up to a 72. He's putting up good numbers in AA, 280 ERA in 157 innings. We need to see those per nines, really only the hits and home runs per 9, improve a little bit, but everything else about him looks pretty solid. Like, if we had a fast track or a call up, that would almost instantly improve those per 9s, and he'd be looking like a good pitcher already. Another starting pitcher prospect, Grant Taylor, looks like he's broken that 70 overall barrier, and I'm excited about what he brings to the table. I mean, all those per 9s are pretty much even across the board there, all within what, a 5-point range from a 51 up to a 56. So to me, just about all of them could use a little work, but same thing, a fast track, a call up, that fixes that instantly. Ryan Benjamin was another draft pick from last season. He's also crossed the 70 overall barrier already, but he's somebody that I don't have too high of hopes for. He's only a C potential, so I don't even remember what exactly his potential was, how much more he has left to improve, and his stamina is only a 65. So that's probably not going to make him an effective defensive starting pitcher down the line. Trying to stick with the starting pitching here. I don't know if there's anybody that I'm missing, but Jody Deal was a later round pick from last year's draft, and he's somebody I'm also excited about. Only a 59 overall right now, but he is 18. A potential, high stamina, high velocity to start. It's just all the per nines need a lot of work. He is progressing pretty nicely though. Basically +3s across the board if you take one away from the +4 and add it to the +2. We don't really have relief pitching prospects, at least that show up here, but Joe Barlow, still somebody stuck in the minors that I've been frustrated by the fact he's stuck in the minors with that 94 hits per nine. But he's still progressing. He's still a B potential. I don't know if at 29 he'll get there, but he's got 35 saves, 147 ERA down in AAA. So that's all we can ask for, is he keeps playing well and keeps progressing, and hopefully next season he gets put on the 40-man. That'll be the first step. We need him to be on the 40-man roster to even have a hope of getting put on the MLB team. On to some position players here. Edgar Caro, he's progressing pretty nicely. I feel like I'd like to see a little bit more like drastic improvement rather than just like the steady increase across the board, but I guess like he's not playing all that well. Like, he's not playing bad, don't get me wrong, but I think this is why everything is pretty much progressing at the same rate. Is just he's not doing anything bad, but he's not doing anything exceptionally well, which to me I think kind of gives catcher our biggest question mark of the offseason as we head into it, because I was kind of hoping that Caro would progress enough this year that he could be our starting catcher starting in year 3. But if we look at our current team, you know, both of our catchers right now are on expiring contracts, so that's why that was the hope, was that these two would be gone and we'd already have the replacement ready to go. But I don't know, I might need to look for like a 1-year deal or something on some catcher to give us an extra like bridge year. But speaking of catchers, we also have Connie Kang, who was our #1 overall pick in last year's draft, and he's progressed already up to a 60. I can't remember if he started at a 57. I think it was a 57, so +3. That's a decent enough pace, at least for now. He's in AA and he's actually playing pretty well. I don't think he's the starting catcher. Back when I had access to that screen, there was a different catcher in AA who had a lot more games played and everything. But you'd think with what he's doing, at least at the plate, that before long he should be the starting catcher down there. I mean, 18 years old and he's got an 832 OPS. Then we've got Brian Ramos, who I had the fast track with earlier in the season, and I'm actually a little upset by this. I don't think he's had too much progression at all since then. I think he went up 1 overall after where I left off with him, up to a 70. That's kind of been where he's stuck at. And yeah, he's not playing all that well in AAA, which kind of makes me question all the trades that I declined because he was involved in them and I didn't want to move on from him. If he's going to stop progressing, that would make those decisions worse. But he's still only 23. He's got time. And I think the only other draft pick from year 1 that I can find on this future depth chart screen is Kana Matsumoto, who is one of the least exciting prospects that I drafted, just because I think his potential was like only a 71. So he doesn't have that much room left to improve. I don't really have high hopes that he's going to turn into anything, but you never know, down the line he could get a fast track that bumps up the potential, because I do think what he has right now is a solid foundation. It's just we know where his cap is, and the cap is rapidly approaching. And I think that's about it in terms of worthwhile prospects, at least that I can see from this screen. And I know he's definitely not a prospect anymore, but I feel like we have to shine a spotlight on what Colson Montgomery is doing for us this year, because he's all the way up to an 81 overall. I think he started the season at a 76, so that's already a +5 progression to his overall, and we're still not even all that close to the end of the season. And one of the things that was a little bit unfortunate with him just getting called up to start the year was the fact that we never got the chance at a fast track or a call up with a boost. But based on what he's doing this year and the progression he's gotten, he's basically made it like he had one of those. I mean, it's the contact, the vision, and the discipline that have gone up the most. And I mean, the numbers he's putting up: 16 home runs, 319 average, that might be the best on the team, almost a 400 OBP, a 949 OPS, he's slugging 550, just insane numbers, 4.6 WAR. And one of the big things about what he's doing is he's probably gonna win Rookie of the Year. Like, I wouldn't think that there's anybody else having even close to this level of a season. And the thing that's good about that is, even though it's another screen we don't have access to in March to October, they added that whole prospect promotion in incentive into the game this year. And since we had Colson Montgomery on the team for day 1 of season 2, he should qualify for that incentive. So if he wins Rookie of the Year, we'll get an extra draft pick, and it'll be, I think, like 31 or 32. But one last thing that I wanted to point out before we continue on actually playing the game today is after last episode, I don't know exactly what happened here with our pitching rotation, but I'll just let the CPU do its thing. Actually, I won't, because they took Hendricks out. I'll probably end up putting him back in the rotation over Schuster, or maybe even over Kopech. I'm not sure. Either way, that's not the point of what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is after recording last episode, I noticed something that I would consider to be something very big, because we crossed over into a new month. We crossed over into August, and usually when a month ends and a new month starts, that's when you see like a big jump in progression. So like I think Dylan Cease went up from a 92 to a 94, you know, in like one day. But that's not the big thing. The big thing is that on both Dylan Cease and Michael Kopech, for the first time that I've ever seen it in the game this year, in March to October, is they have a +1 to their stamina rating, both Kopech and Dylan Cease. And like I said, I've never seen that before. I just assumed for whatever reason in the game this year, the stamina just couldn't get any better, which doesn't make sense. Obviously, that's a thing you can work on in real life. That's a thing you can train. But for this entire series so far up until that point, I thought that was just like a fixed number and all it could do was go down, because you do see it regress. So that's why my draft strategy has been a lot of what it was, is to look at the stamina first and foremost, because if somebody's starting with like a 64 stamina, that's not going to improve with the rest of everything. But now that we see this, the +1 on Kopech and the +1 on Cease, completely naturally, because I guess I should say in fast tracks and call-ups, the stamina does increase, but that's the only time I've ever seen it, and that's not, you know, naturally occurring. So the fact that this happened naturally, I don't know, that might change a lot. That might change Kopech himself. I wish this would have happened, you know, throughout this series, because I still plan on not bringing him back after this year. But if his stamina would have improved up to even like a 71 or 72, maybe he would have been way more effective than he's been able to be. But yeah, I think I am, just because of how good Hendricks has been this year. I mean, 2.74 ERA. I'm going to put him in the starting rotation. I know I haven't given Schuster a chance to prove himself this season, but last year when he was a starter, his numbers weren't too good. It's so funny where our bullpen is right now. Like, it is all long relief pitchers. It's Clay Holmes, Tanner Scott, Crochet closing, and then the rest of our arms are starting pitchers or relievers with high stamina. All right, but anyway, let's get into our player lock here with Jared Schuster, the 4th time in this March to October in 2 seasons that will be player locked in as Jared Schuster from the beginning of the game. And they didn't even play a video thing beforehand. They just started us right in. They're like, you know what, you've seen this way too many times already. They don't need to say that he got called up again. We also already have a 2-0 lead to work with, so that's nice. Oh, and Vaughn saving a hit to lead off the game. I like that. And chopper to second. That should be an easy play over there. Oh, and there we go. Got him looking. Slider stayed in the zone. Good first inning from Schuster. I like it. Oh, man, and there's another one that stayed in the zone. I'm not trying to keep these in the zone, but if that's what works, that's what works. And we finally got a swing. Vlad's going to make a nice play on that. It's kind of funny. The one slider they swing at is the one that did end up out of the zone. Oh, and there we go. Now we're getting him on that fastball up at 96. I didn't really know Schuster had that. And another one over to Vlad. We're looking really good here. It's either been punch outs or weak contact on the ground. And another ground. Oh, but Colson, buddy. And they're going to score that a hit, aren't they? Yep, they called that a base hit. So that, I mean, we're only 2 1/3 innings into it, but that's how the no-hitter gets broken up. Can't put Freddie Fermin away. This is about to be the 7th pitch of the at-bat, and it's 0-2. Okay, we got the pop-up. I was going to say, maybe that means I should throw one out of the zone, but I guess we didn't need to. Ooh, that is going to do some damage there. Yep, that's a tie game. I was just thinking, too, as I was throwing that pitch, I'm like, man, I'm already feeling the limitations of only having a 3-pitch mix to work with. And then there we go. Definitely unfortunate, but we can still save a good start out of this. I just don't know if we can get that third plus on top of his already 2+ boost that he has. But all that really matters for me in this one is to get a 1+ boost to make sure we get the attribute boost. And there we go. Weak on the ground again. That's going to get us out of this third inning. And a 1 pitch out. We desperately needed that to start the fourth here. There was a lot of pitches thrown in the third. Wow, I'm seeing at the bottom of the screen here, they're highlighting our top prospects. They ranked, it's gone now, but I think I saw Jody Deal. They had him as our #1 prospect in the organization, and I think they had him at number 7 in the entire MLB. So again, yet another screen we don't have access to in March to October, because if you were in franchise, you'd get to actually see the list of top prospects. But at least it's nice to know that I haven't been overrating Jody Deal and what I think he can be. He's actually a highly rated prospect. There we go. Finally swings and misses at a fastball there. And man, we can't really find the swing and miss pitch consistently. I know 4 strikeouts in 4 innings isn't bad, but the amount of 2-strike counts we've had and not turn them into strikeouts, we could have like double what we have. Pitch count is a little higher too than I'd like it to be. And that is going to drop in, isn't it? Oh no, Robert's there. All right, nice play. Okay, if we can make a play, no, we're not gonna. Oh wait, we are? Okay. I'm like, oh, that's Harrison Bader. He's easily gonna run that out, but he only had 77 speed. And that is right to Benintendi. That's a 3-pitch inning. I just said our pitch count's a little higher than I want it, and we solved that with a 3-pitch inning. Oh my god, and then they swing at the first pitch again. I mean, technically, because you go back to the last pitch of 2 innings ago, that's 5 pitches in a row that have produced an out. Oh, and then they finally take a pitch there and break the streak. But I mean, it didn't last too long in that at bat. That was the 3rd pitch of the AB that got that result. There we go. All right, that was a perfect spot for that slider. Perfect location at the end of the 6th inning. And we're still rolling here. 7th inning, another slider, another punch out. I don't know, man. After that 3rd inning with all those pitches we had to throw and giving up that 2-run shot, I wasn't sure. I kind of was having my doubts about this start a little bit, but we've salvaged this, turned it around. I'd be shocked if at this point we could ruin it to the point of not getting another boost. Not you know, to jinx anything, but I legitimately think that with already having given up 2 runs and where we're at, if anything starts to go wrong, they actually will just take me out of the game. And there's no way Montgomery makes that play, yeah. Not with Witt running. Oh, Witt's taken off now. We threw a strike, but man, that's not even close. He didn't even take a lead. He did take a lead on the first pitch, and he didn't go, and then he didn't take a lead, and he did go. Oh, and we spotted him up and away there. Huge punch out on a 3-2 count. Come on, Schuster, one more. This has to be it for him. If he can do it, that's hit pretty well. Oh, and we're not even close to getting there. Yeah. Well, you knew when I said what I said that was going to jinx it, and I was going to give up another run. So maybe I shouldn't have said it. But now let's test the theory of what I was saying and see if we get taken out here. No, we don't? Okay, well, I don't know what I'm talking about then. This still has the chance of going very wrong then if we don't get this out, which we didn't. Okay, so yep, that's a 4th run across now. Now this is really pushing it. Finally getting taken out of the game now, but we are still on the hook for the runner on first, so hopefully I didn't just fail there. Hopefully our offense can come back through and put the runs up to win this game, because a win obviously still matters. So let's see. All we can do is sit here and see. Our offense didn't do anything else. Thanks, guys. They do still call it a superior outing, which I'm kind of surprised by, allowing 4 runs. I thought at most you could get was a 1+, so they still gave me a 2, which you'd think that means I should still be in line for some sort of attribute boost. So yep, there's our 2+. Basically just stays where he was already, but the loss gives us a snowflake. And man, we are losing games. I was not expecting that. That happened very fast. We lost 3 games in a row and then picked up 1. And now we got to win one to win the series here against St. Louis. And it's okay. We're in the bottom of the 7th, so we've got a lot of time left, and it's a 10-9 game. And you know what? I think I'm going to leave that one for the start of the next episode. I think I rambled enough there in the middle about our prospects that this one's not really going to be cut short. Oh, but actually, before I forget, let's see what we have with Schuster after that. And he only got up to an 83. So not the biggest boost there. That one was only 2 overall points higher, but you can see there his per nines and stuff, you know, plus 8, 6, 7, 7. That definitely saw another nice improvement. But yeah, guys, as always, make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And also make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. But thanks for watching again today, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time.